This video is for you who carry a weight you can't even explain, for you who feel that something great resides within you, yet at the same time, you fight a silent battle every day just to exist. Have you ever felt this way? As if you were trapped between exhaustion and the responsibility of being someone called for something greater, as if you had a mission, a divine choice, yet your body and mind simply don't keep up. This doesn't make you weak. It makes you human, a human with a soul that feels too much and a spirit that may be too overwhelmed. Many people look from the outside and think, oh, just get up, shake it off and move on. But it's not that simple when you are chosen, because those set apart for something greater feel the weight of the world on their shoulders, even without leaving their room. The calling is beautiful, but the burden isn't always. Sometimes staying in bed all day reflects a heart exhausted from fighting alone inside. But let me tell you something, you are not alone. This video is not just to understand you, it's to remind you that there is a reason behind this weight. Even the desire to do nothing has something to reveal to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Tell me, have you ever felt this way too? I read everything, and believe me, there are more people like you than you imagine. Let's walk together. There is a lie many people believe without realizing it. The idea that feeling pain is a sign of weakness, that suffering is failing, that being tired means you are not praying enough, not strong enough, or lacking faith. But let me share a truth you might need to hear today. Even the chosen bleed inside. Even those carrying promises cry silently into their pillows. Having a calling doesn't exempt you from suffering. On the contrary, sometimes it intensifies precisely because of the calling. Have you noticed that the closer you get to your purpose, the heavier the world feels? It's no coincidence. Those with a destiny set by God also attract battles ordinary people would never face. And the worst part, no one sees it, no one knows, only you and God. While many judge your silence as discouragement, heaven knows who you truly are. You've pulled away, and what they don't see is that you're in the greatest internal battle of your life, a struggle between what you feel and what you know needs to be. But listen, the fact that you're here listening to this right now already proves that you haven't given up. It proves that there is something in you, even small, even wounded, that still believes, still hopes, still wants to rise, even if today all you can do is cry. Suffering is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you are alive, a sign that you feel, a sign that you have depth. The superficial do not suffer. They ignore, but the chosen do not. The chosen feel too much. And it is precisely this intensity that heaven uses to shape you, to prepare you, to lift you up. So, do not blame yourself. Do not condemn yourself. If today you are suffering, know this. It is also part of the process for those set apart for something greater. For many, the bed is a place of rest, a safe haven where the body recharges, the mind slows down, and the day comes to an end. But for you who was chosen, the bed often becomes an invisible battlefield. It is there, lying down, that the war begins. Not against the world outside, but against your own thoughts. It is where the voice of anxiety becomes louder, where fear whispers that you won't make it, where the past insists on returning as if it wants to trap you again. You know this place well. The sensation that the world continues outside, yet inside you, everything is paralyzed. And it is in that moment that many give up, not because they want to, but because they are tired of trying. What no one sees is that there, in that bed, you are fighting not to surrender. You are waging a war that leaves no visible marks but scratches the spirit. The mind says, stay. The purpose shouts, rise. And you, in the middle of it all, are trying to survive your own calling. Do you know why? Because the chosen live with this kind of conflict. They carry within them an urgency, a mission, a fire that sometimes becomes embers but never goes out. Even lying down, even wounded, even confused, this fire is still there. And that is what torments hell, because it knows that if you rise, even without strength, you become a threat. So don't fool yourself into thinking your bed is just a place of comfort. It has been a sacred field of resistance. And every time you choose to rise, even in pieces, heaven celebrates it as a victory. Not every sleep is truly rest. Sometimes it's an escape, a hiding place disguised as rest. It's the body saying, I want to sleep, while the soul longs to disappear for a few hours, just to stop feeling. Some days you lie down not because you're tired, but because you don't want to face another conversation, another expectation, another attempt to explain what even you don't understand. The bed becomes a refuge, the pillow a confidant, and sleep a silent pause from the invisible war that follows you every day. But you know what hurts the most? On the outside, everything looks normal. Your face still smiles. Your social media still works. You still answer messages with "I'm fine," while inside you are silently crying for help. Chosen ones almost always learn to hide their pain so they don't appear weak. You've gotten used to carrying so much, haven't you? To bear the weight without complaint, to be strong even when everything inside you wants to scream. And so sleep becomes a way to escape, a way to numb the purpose. Because sometimes the calling is so heavy that the mind must shut down to avoid breaking. But listen closely. God knows the difference between healthy rest and sleep as escape. He sees when you sleep out of exhaustion and when you hide out of despair. And even in those moments, he is still there, sitting at the edge of your bed, watching your fatigue as if to say, I know, I understand, and I have not abandoned you. So even if today you lay down just to escape reality, know this: heaven still believes in you, even in this state, even like this. Not all sleep is truly sleep. Sometimes it's just the soul trying to survive, something only the spirit can understand. There are moments in life when the floor of your room becomes the most sincere altar you have ever stepped on. You know that day when you couldn't get up, not to pray, not to ask for help, not even to pretend to be strong. You simply let yourself fall onto the cold floor, face pressed against the carpet or tiles, or clinging to the pillow as if it were the only thing that understood you. There, without words, without strength, without answers. You didn't want advice, scattered verses, or empty phrases like, "It will pass," because at that moment, it seemed heaven was closed, God was silent, and prayer felt like screaming into a well with no echo. And the worst part? No one saw, no one knew, no one noticed the despair behind your silence. But God did. He saw that sigh deeper than a prayer, that whisper almost without a voice. Help me, God, just help me. He heard you, even when you thought he didn't. I was listening, and here's the truth. The chosen live this way. They go to the dark places of the soul that others cannot understand because they need to be forged inside before being used outside. And it hurts. It hurts because it's lonely. It hurts because it's invisible. It hurts being present. He has remained silent so that you could grow in the dark, because some miracles are only born in secret, some callings only flourish after we are broken, and the floor of your room where you cried will become a testimony, because the skies that are cloudy today will soon clear. Those who saw you on the ground will not believe it when they see you standing. Have you noticed how you feel everything more intensely? How a single word cuts deeper? How a heavy atmosphere affects you? How a strange environment steals your peace? You feel differently because you are different. The chosen do not live on the surface of life. They do not stay shallow. They dive deep into pain, doubts, and burdens that no one else sees. And that is why sometimes they seem more sensitive, quieter, or complicated. But the truth is, you are not fragile. You are spiritual. You carry within you a sensitivity given by God, not to break you, but to guide you. You feel others' pain as if it were your own. You carry worries that aren't even yours. You notice when the atmosphere changes. You sense when someone's heart is heavy, even if their face smiles. This is not weakness, it is discernment, spiritual sensitivity. It is the kind of tool heaven places in the hands of those it truly wants to use. Yes, this does make you more vulnerable. Feeling the world so deeply can be exhausting. You start the day fine, and suddenly you are drained because you've absorbed everything. The world weighs heavily on those who see beyond the natural. But listen, this sensitivity is part of your calling. You were set apart precisely because you can feel what others ignore, see what others cannot perceive. And if this isolates you, if this tires you, it is also what empowers you to fulfill your purpose. So the next time someone tells you that you feel too much, smile, because you know feeling too much is not a flaw. It is a sign that God chose you to reach where no one else can. You feel differently because you were made for greater things. Have you felt stuck, as if nothing is moving and the world keeps going while you remain frozen? Even the chosen experience this. Inertia doesn't define you. Your response does. Prophets and even Jesus faced moments of despair, yet they persisted. Feeling like giving up is human, not weakness. The chosen carry a spark, a fire within that resists even in the hardest moments. Giving up is a thought. Rising is a choice. Your calling, not inertia, defines who you are. God is with you in every step, every struggle, and every tear. When the urge to give up hits, don't surrender. What awaits after the storm is greater than any moment of doubt. Rising, even when exhausted or hurting, is an act of courage, faith, and resistance. Every small step forward is a battle won, celebrated in heaven, even if unseen by others. The chosen carry burdens invisible to the world, feeling deeply what others cannot. Loneliness and misunderstanding may surround them, but the calling inside remains steadfast. Your fight doesn't depend on the world's approval. It depends on what God planted in your heart. It's true, you are seen, you are loved, you are chosen, and that is enough to keep moving forward. Loneliness can feel like emptiness, a cold place where no one reaches, a silence so vast that even your thoughts scream. But for the chosen, solitude is not always an enemy. Sometimes it is the only space where the soul finds rest, where masks fall, where you can truly be yourself, without judgment, without pressure. It is in this silent space that many discover their truest strength, because in solitude, you have the chance to listen to yourself, to hear what has been kept inside, to reconcile with your doubts, your pain, and your dreams. The chosen learn to transform loneliness into a sacred place, a place to meet themselves and God. Because in stillness, many answers appear. It is in silence that faith strengthens. It is in solitude that hope is reborn. If today you are alone, know this: you are not lost. You are being prepared. You are growing, and from solitude comes the strength to continue. In the midst of the deepest darkness, when everything seems lost, something unexpected happens. A light appears. Not just any light, but the one that rises from the small flame you thought had gone out. It is the spark of hope, of purpose, of the calling that has not died. You may not see it now, and do you know what is most powerful? This light does not depend on circumstances. It does not come from what you did or didn't do. It comes from what God placed within you. This light is a sign that the war is being won, that the cycle is changing, like emptiness, that the breakthrough is a place where no one reaches, and a silence so vast that even your thoughts scream. But for the chosen, solitude is not always an enemy. Sometimes it is the only space where the soul finds rest, where masks fall, where you can truly be yourself, without judgment, without pressure. It is in this silent space that many discover their truest strength. Because in solitude, you have the chance to listen to yourself, to hear what has been kept inside, to reconcile with your doubts, your pain, and your dreams. The chosen learn to transform loneliness into a sacred